things just took a major turn as we finally have a major update on an Edmonton Oilers that we've been waiting to insert back into the lineup for almost 2 months. All that more today on Oilers Digest as we continue to wait for the start of the Western Conference Final between the Edmonton Oilers and the Dallas Stars. But we are also on the road to 3,200 subscribers, on the road to 4,000. So if you haven't hit that button down below already, folks, make sure you do so. For any on all Oiler news, Oilers Digest is the place to be. Now, without further ado, into the news of the day coming out of morning skate with so close with the return of Mattias Ekholm as the Oilers and Stars still have to wait for 2 more nights before the start of their series at the American Airlines Center there in Dallas, or American Airlines Arena. It's one of the two names, folks, but the Oilers and Stars in Dallas, 7 o'clock Central, 6 o'clock Mountain on Hockey Night in Canada. And some big news out of the Oilers morning skate this morning with the return of Mattias Ekholm to the Oilers full roster. It'd be massive, says Leon Draisaitl, for the return of Mattias Ekholm. He's been arguably our best defenseman for the last 2, maybe 3 years now, and getting a guy like that back into the lineup, it's hard to describe how much he can do. He's obviously got to be healthy and well enough to play, but if we ever get to that point in this series, that's a huge bonus for us. With Kris Knoblauch also passing along the message that Ekholm looks great. Says, I watched him yesterday and I watched him today. I think it's going well. I think his mobility is pretty good considering how much time he's had off and the type of injury that he had, still undisclosed. So I think we're off to a good start. Now, I mean, I could spend hours talking about how important Mattias Ekholm is to this Oilers lineup, but with the stats, I mean, Mattias Ekholm finished the 2024-25 regular season with 9 goals and 24 assists in 65 games after recording 5 goals and 5 assists during Edmonton's run to Game 7 of the Cup Final last year, going +9 over 22 minutes of average ice time in all 25 postseason contests last year. So the guy is, he's battle tested. He's been through the trenches before with this Oilers team, and not just this Oilers team, but also the Predators that went to the 2017 Stanley Cup Final with him and PK Subban forming one of, Nashville's top line. So Mattias Ekholm knows what the playoffs are all about. He says, I feel good. I didn't think I would be in this position this quickly, so I'm really happy about that. Our trainers have done a tremendous job with me. Healing has gone better than I thought, but I'm still trying to take it day by day. Today was the first time these playoffs I was on the ice for a full practice. I thought that went pretty well. Now it's a matter of how I feel tomorrow, so I can't rule anything out or rule anything in. I'm just trying to go on a day-to-day basis, and I'm just happy that I've come this far along now. I mean, the type of injury that Mattias Ekholm had, obviously, it was serious enough that from, TSN's Ryan Schog said, it could have been, best case scenario, the third round / Stanley Cup Final for a potential return, or he could have been out for the full season. So the Oilers obviously getting the best case scenario in this situation here. And I mean, the D-core so far up to this point has been stellar without Ekholm, and adding him back to this Oilers lineup would just make them much better against a Dallas team that, the Oilers, might need Ekholm sooner rather than later. When it comes to, the battle-hardened ways that Mattias Ekholm has been through in his career during the playoffs, as I played over 100 playoff games and I played deep in the playoffs before, so I at least have an idea. I have some experience that I can lean on in that regard eventually when he does return, if he does return. But I like to think that I will be 100% when I get in there. There's going to be some butterflies if I do come back at some point, and that's just part of it, and then take it every stride in every shift. Just don't try to look too far ahead and look at the big task. I know what I can contribute when I'm healthy, and that's the goal here. We will see how it goes. So very optimistic here from the Swedish Viking. Certainly does not mince words whenever he speaks to the Edmonton media. He's one of the best well-spoken players on this team, and I mean, his native language is Swedish. So a big ups to Mattias Ekholm there. All the respect in the world for that man. I mean, not just on the ice, but also off the ice as well. Certainly one of my favorite Oilers. He's only been here for 2 years. So that's just good. That just goes to show the character that Mattias Ekholm carries to this entire team. When he's in the lineup, it just reverberates throughout the entire bench there with this Oilers team, and they all have an objective in mind, and Mattias Ekholm certainly gets them to that promised land. Certainly like a Chris Pronger type player there, just plays the game in a rocking chair. They're very calm, very collected, very steady, and he certainly helps guys like Evan Bouchard or Darnell Nurse there. You can see from Natural Stat Trick, I've showed this chart before, but it just goes to show how good Mattias Ekholm can be, not just with the eye test, but also analytically there. You can put him with Bouchard, Nurse, or Brett Kulak, and they all produce fantastic there on the on the stat sheet there with the Corsi for and Corsi against. So many statistics, and Matthias Ekholm is in the positive for every single one of them. And I mean, not just during the regular season, but again during that magnificent playoff run last year, all the way to the Stanley Cup final, and including 2023 as well. That run, you can see the 37 games played between Ekholm and Bouchard together there. Again, phenomenal numbers, as these two have, become one of the best top pairings in this National Hockey League. And when Ekholm does come back, we will see that come back to fruition there. So again, very excited for the return of Matthias Ekholm. Now, of course, his official status is still day-to-day following Sunday's skate, but wouldn't reveal on Monday or today if he'll be healthy enough to join the team on the road for games 1 and 2 of the Western Conference Final against the Stars, which of course does begin Wednesday night in Dallas. And from Bob Stauffer here, he confirms possibly Game 5 or Game 6. I don't think we're going to see Ekholm in the first 4 games of the series, and I know Bob Stauffer again. He's one of the main guys in the Edmonton media, and more often than not, he is correct about his analysis or predictions there. So could see Ekholm later on in the series, or if things get dire, say the Oilers knock on wood, go down 2 games to nothing, we could see Matthias Ekholm back for Game 3. But of course, you don't want to rush it at all, but it all depends on how he feels. Now, the rest of the Oiler lineup stayed the same at the Monday skate this morning on the Victoria Day for the long weekend for these Oilers. Certainly a long weekend that they've been waiting for this series to start there, with Nugent-Hopkins, McDavid, and Hyman, and then Vasily Podkolzin and Leon Draisaitl in Kasperi Kapanen. Again, the lines do remain the same with Evander Kane, Adam Henrique, and Connor Brown, and then Trent Frederick, Matthias Janmark, and Corey Perry. All 4 lines are currently rolling for these Oilers, and again, that will be much needed against the Dallas Stars, with Victor Arvidsson, Jeff Skinner, Derek Ryan, and Max Jones as the extra forwards, Brett Kulak and Evan Bouchard, Darnell Nurse and Troy Stetcher, and then Jake Wallman and John Klingberg, with Matthias Ekholm and Ty Emerson as the extra defenseman, with Stuart Skinner and Olivier Rodriguez. Calvin Biggett, again, still dealing with his lower body injury there. Now, when it comes to, these Oilers against the Dallas Stars, we'll take a mini preview, look into the Dallas Stars, and then, of course, leading, tomorrow and Wednesday, the game day, we'll take a deeper look into the Dallas Stars. But again, we meet with Dallas in Edmonton. We've seen each other so many times during the history of these two franchises there. I mean, the Dallas Stars and the Edmonton Oilers, no stranger to one another. I want to you take a look at the advanced analytics here from Sportsnet when it comes to Edmonton and Dallas during these Stanley Cup playoffs. The special teams will be a big storyline in this one. Edmonton's power play, it could be better, but I mean, for 6 out of all of the 16 playoff teams, that's very respectable. Comparing that to Dallas's 30.8%, almost 31% on the power play. In penalty kill, I mean, the Oilers during the Vegas series, they were better on the power play, or in the penalty kill, I should say. Pardon me. Comparing that to the LA series, but again, a huge storyline that will be. Meanwhile, the Oilers, they're scoring and they're defending well for the most part. Meanwhile, the Dallas Stars struggling to score there. I mean, they were shut out twice against the Winnipeg Jets in Winnipeg, and the goals against per game 4th with 2.92. So, a very, balanced Dallas Stars team. And then comparing even more advanced analytics, I mean, the Oilers are top 10 in every single one of these categories. Meanwhile, the Dallas Stars, of course, struggling to generate a good chunk of offense against their opposition. I mean, Winnipeg and Colorado, 2 of the strongest teams in the NHL, and Edmonton, they're just as strong as those two, if not much stronger there, in my opinion. So Edmonton in Dallas, again, it'll be a lot closer than you would think. I mean, a key part of this Oiler team is just trying to shut down Mikko Rantanen and Roope Hintz. But of course, it's Mikko Rantanen for the most part, as he seems to be, picking up the slack that the rest of the Stars just haven't been doing up to this point. I mean, you have guys that are, battle tested during the playoffs. I mean, I'm using those words quite a lot here, but I mean, in the playoffs, when you go this deep, you kind of have to be battle hardened, battle tested, so on and so forth there. I mean, Jamie Benn not really doing a whole lot there. Matt Duchene, 5 points, no goals in this playoff run. Sam Steele with 6 points. So it's more so shut down Mikko Rantanen, and there's a good chance you will win the game here. Not just him, but Roope Hintz. As you can see there, the goals for and goals against. When Dallas does not have Roope Hintz or Mikko Rantanen on the ice, they are being outscored by a 2-to-1 ratio there. So that is a matchup the Oilers will have to pounce on whenever they get the opportunity. They might not get that opportunity too much in this series there if they get eaten alive. Pete DeBoer is a mastermind at adjusting on the fly there. So, of course, you have to keep an eye on that opportunity. And you also have to keep an eye when they are on the ice too, as they're outscoring the opposition 7-2 when both of those guys are on the ice. So again, we will take a deeper dive into Dallas over the next 2 days. But I mean, this is just the appetizer to what is coming up for the Edmonton Oilers. But that is it for today's video. Let me know down in the comments what you think about Mattias Ekholm's his update there. Are you excited? Do you think we will see him earlier than Game 5 or 6? I mean, I think so. The guy is, he's far too ready to be held back for that long there. But of course, you also do not want to rush him. But again, let me know down in the comments, and if you haven't already, make sure you hit that button down below and subscribe to the channel. And have a good rest of your long weekend. You don't have too much left, but soak it all in. Enjoy. Take care. I'm Matt.